Looks like Hero Games is giving us a little bit more communication on what they plan to fix on the feedback from the closed beta test to review. So this is basically the first part here is just like, hey, thank you guys so much for the feedback. But let's talk about some of this different stuff. So combat, it looks like they're adjusting some different stuff with poor sound effects and hit feedback that many of the people had mentioned. We'll focus on revamping the sound effects of hit feedback, echo skills, resonance skills, as well as other battle aspects. In addition, we'll improve jumping by adjusting animation speed, camera transitions, and landing feedback to make it more natural. So I really love that Kuro's doing this. They're really just like, hey, we hear you, and here's basically what we plan on doing with it. So yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that it's particularly the parry sound effect wasn't as great as it was in CBT1. So when I was in CBT1, it sounded pretty good. It sounded pretty solid, but I kept hearing people say that the CBT2 sound effect was like off, or like really like silent, basically. Like you couldn't really hear it, and it felt like you weren't really doing much. So that's pretty cool that they kind of, adjusted that. Sound effects, I think, are very, very important. It's one of those things that a lot of people maybe sweep under the rug, but when you're in the game actually doing stuff, sound effects and kind of like music around you and stuff like that, it really plays a part in your experience. So it's kind of nice to see that they're, taking feedback and adjusting accordingly. So it looks like we have some character specific stuff here, and adjusting Ling Yang's and Jian Shin's moveset for an elevated overall combat experience. I've seen a lot of people saying they're kind of let down by these two. So these were two of the newer characters in CBT2. A lot of people said that they weren't really doing much. Like they weren't really that great to play. Of course, they liked like the way they look and stuff like that, but they were a little lackluster. So I think they just need to adjust something, make them a little bit more punchy, maybe make their movesets a little bit different and unique. But yeah, it's kind of nice that they've acknowledged that as well. Verina's, I don't remember how to say her name, is it Verina's HP restoration mechanism. She can use photosynthesis energy more efficiently. I heard that she does a massive amount of damage and her HP stuff was kind of like on the back burner. So it's kind of nice that she is supposed to heal your team, and that's kind of one of her kits. So it's kind of nice to see that, they're kind of like, hey, maybe she shouldn't be like a massive damage dealer. So we'll kind of adjust the HP restoration and go from there. Improve Cal. I'm going to call him Cal because I don't know how to say his full name. His extra intro skill necessary means will be available by default. I actually heard this guy was a lot of fun. Got a lot of cool gimmicks to him, so I haven't really heard too much about his intro skill, but hey, if this is something that a lot of people are saying, it's obviously something, because it kind of looks like maybe you have to build it up or something like that, because it's an extra skill, so it'll be available by default, or maybe you had to put it on him. Not 100% sure, but this third one is actually pretty interesting. So you have combat skill practicing dungeons. So for people who like to familiarize yourself with your teams and each one of your character's unique combat mechanisms and practice how to combo, that's super cool. It's really nice to be able to do that, because you could obviously run around the world smacking echoes and stuff like that. And you probably will as you farm, because obviously you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. But if they do the practicing dungeons correctly, kind of the way that they do it in PGR, where they basically tell you some of the basic kits and basic combinations that you can do with these characters, and kind of like the flow that you want with these characters, it kind of gives you an idea if maybe you're not one of those people who kind of like to lab it yourself and see how it goes, doing it yourself. Usually in PGR, it'll kind of give you like a nice little combo to do, and you can kind of work on doing that efficiently, especially with characters who have a lot of different things in their kit to kind of think about. It's a nice little thing to have like a practicing dungeon. So the next part is going to be the echo system. I've heard a lot of things about the echo system being very grindy, not really having anything to do with your unwanted echoes, really no material back for that. So let's go ahead and see what they're talking about. So we received many suggestions and concerns on how the echo hunting experience was too grindy, how the game lacked disposal options for unwanted echoes, and other issues. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to get a pile of echoes, because you're obviously going to go echo hunting and try to get your best stats, what are you going to do with them? If you want to like get rid of them, basically, you don't want to get rid of them for like free or like a low material cost, because it's like you kind of want to get something back for that. So at least your time in getting like some of the ones that you don't really have anything to do with is worth something. So this next one's going to be to address the issues. We're going to make it easier to obtain various echoes. So we plan on making echoes available through participating in in-game events, completing daily activities, and other means. So the in-game events will probably be somewhat of a rarer one, I would imagine. Completing daily activities would be kind of nice if they let us choose at least the type, so you can have like kind of a pool to go through. I would really like to be able to choose like specifically the type of echo that I want to do daily. Because if I'm looking for a specific one, having that just a little extra one or whatever for doing my daily activities would be pretty nice. That way I kind of know I'm guaranteed at least one throughout the day. And then it says other means as well. So it could be kind of the other events, in-game events, stuff like that. Provide a way to dispose of unused or redundant echoes. So this will be nice. So you'll be able to recycle unenhanced echoes by converting them into a random new echo of a type you have already unlocked. So with that being said, does rarity matter here, and does it become one of the types that you are recycling? Because in this part, it kind of makes it sound like if you recycle a certain type, it could be any of the types, not the specific type. It also doesn't talk about rarity, so that's kind of a hard thing, because like if you have a higher rarity, you would hope that that would convert to at least the same rarity, if not, you know, higher. Because I'm imagining like if you had a really kind of rarer one, but you really didn't know what to do with it, and then you convert it, and then it ends up being low rarity, well, then it's not really going to be the greatest for you there either. But or at least level wise, maybe it'll be kind of there. So return tuners and tuned echoes are consumed when you use tuned echoes to upgrade other echoes. A designated percentage of tuners you previously used will be returned. Oh, okay, so that's pretty nice. So basically you get rewarded for feeding them into them. So whenever you consume one, you'll be able to get some of your stuff back, which is super nice, because if you're basically doing it for free, I can see how that becomes very costly over the period of time, especially if you're going for substats and, you know, grinding a ton. You're eventually going to lose a lot of your materials there. So being able to get a percent back is more worth it, I would say. Make it easier to get your desired substats. So this is a big thing. This is what a lot of people are saying was very grindy. We raised the minimum numbers you can get with substat rolling and narrowed the range possibilities of rolling results, because I heard a lot of people saying that this was nuts to try to get all the substats you wanted, or at least a good chunk of them. It was like playing Russian roulette, bro. So being able to kind of give you a narrower, you know, range between stuff, it definitely seems like it's heading in the right direction. We'll have to kind of tell whenever it has another CBT or a launch to see how, you know, well that's actually going to work for us. Optimize the auto-equipped echoes mechanism. Additionally, we want to improve the Inferno Rider's echo skill to add a new transformation mode. When equipped, you can transfer into the Infernal Rider. So this is pretty interesting, because we haven't seen this, I think, since the tech test, bro. It's been a minute. So we've been developing even more new events and gameplay centered around the echoes and improve them. So it looks like you can actually turn them into a mount and ride them for a short duration. Honestly, I don't know if maybe they're proccing it to get off of it. I feel like I should just be able to ride it until I'm done or until I hit something. Number 2 is going to be new content for Depths of Elysium Realm. Or Elysium Realm. We added a tutorial stage to help beginners better understand and enjoy the gameplay. More playable characters will be added. Additionally, you can we'll also be able to use trial characters. Oh, that's dope. I like the trial character stuff. I like that because in PGR they do that for certain things and certain events and certain game modes. That allows you to kind of trial different characters that you don't necessarily have. It's really fun because if you kind of come back to the game, or maybe you're a little bit new to the game, it gives you an opportunity to try characters that you don't necessarily have, to give you an idea whether, you know, to you anyway, it's worth grabbing them or maybe saving up for them at some point. Meanwhile, new difficulty events and special boss mechanisms will be added for you to challenge. New difficulty, new high difficulty. Ooh. We're also working on other gameplay issues mentioned in your feedback. Here are a few examples. Drops from supply chests or enemies in the wild will automatically be picked up. Oh my god, thank the Lord, bro. Co-op mode will be available sooner. So I heard that you couldn't get it until you got to level 30, which seems pretty steep, or the union level 30, right? At a lower union level, a batch salvaging option for unwanted items in your backpack. Yes, we love batch options, bro. I don't want to go through each and every one of them. We hope these changes can further improve your gameplay experience. So this is definitely quality of life stuff. I would say the co-op is more of like it needs to happen a little bit sooner, because from what I understand, co-op is very efficient in grinding your echoes. So this is something that you really want to be able to do like somewhat early on, and just having the fact that you can automatically be picked up stuff and, you know, salvaging batch items is something that I feel like should be in every game, bro. I don't want to sit there and click E on every little thing. I don't want to have to go through each and everything and drop them or get rid of them or whatever. Just give me a batch option and automatically pick up my shit. It's not 2006. I don't have to do everything manually. Story cutscenes and animation. So a lot of stuff I've heard about this, including strange camera positioning, characters showing up at the wrong time. What's this guy doing here? Poorly matched lips, animations, and lack of detail and story sound effects. Here's some progress we made so far. Optimize the camera positioning, character animation in some parts of the story. Improves lip animation and eye blink animation. Adjusted and rearranged the story quest positioning for progression for a smoother flow, and change the unlock prerequisites for some story quests. Rework the sound effects and story for better and performance. Improve the skip function. I heard a lot of people are having issues with the skip function. I mean, I'll probably read it all because I like the story, so it doesn't really matter to me, but it's nice that it's in there. Will we keep polishing everything as we continue to move forward? Nice. Okay, so Obviously it's a little lax immersion whenever your lip animation's like out of sync, or like the eye blink. You start to get fixated on weird things and you stop listening to the story. So it's nice that they're kind of working on that. Like I said though, having like different sound effects and stuff like that doesn't seem like it really matters, but in the background, bro, like when you're not like subconsciously you're paying attention to it, it really does kind of take you in and out of experiences a lot. So other adjustments and optimization aside from the changes above were addressing game issues such as crashes, black screens, flame drops, and device overheating. Improve game performance on all devices is a top priority. We're also improving the character environment designs and adjusting the UI for easier navigation. I thought the UI was pretty all right. I mean, honestly, I really liked the one. I don't know if it was in the tech test where it came up on the arm and stuff. I kind of like that because it seemed a little bit different, but I understand why they're going for more of like an easier navigation, I guess. New events and stories. Content in the early development. We'll share our progress with you. And then localization. So localization was a big thing. I know that they voiced numerous times that there was not going to be any English VAs, but a lot of people are still kind of confused. Like, why isn't there English VAs? We will continuously improve the localization based on your feedback. We're working on adding all the different voices and for stories and voice lines. Thank you for your patience. There are future adjustments and optimization based on feedback we're receiving during CBT2. There are other future adjustments and optimizations based on the feedback we received during. Okay, that's the same sentence basically. We apologize for any deficiencies or unsatisfactory. Okay, so basically they're just wanting to bring us the best game possible. See, I like this stuff. I like the fact that they're able to jump in here and say, here's all the concerns. Here's a lot of the different stuff that was outlined. Here's what we plan on doing about it, and what we're gonna get done, bro. It's just like, it's such a simple thing, but you go so like. It's so taken for granted on the fact that a lot of companies just don't do this. Just say something. It's not like the community wants to attack you. They're giving feedback because they want the game to be the best possible thing it is. The player wants just what the dev wants. We both want to experience and have fun with the game. Now, obviously, it leads to more money. The better the game, the more money you're willing to spend on it, bro. So that's just kind of my take on it. I think they're kind of going the right direction. I don't know if CBT3 is going to come or they're going to have a launch or something like that. We're kind of in a limbo right now what we're going to be doing with Wuthering Waves, but they seem to be on the right track and they seem to be doing the right thing, and I appreciate Kiro for doing this kind of stuff.